5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness, we are early. My goodness, we can't be British Rail.
Yes, it could be you.
It won't be, but it could.
It could be you that I'm looking at through their letterbox. Well, hello, what you doing? It's Monday, and that can only mean one thing. It is, of course, the greatest online thing.
The Monday Club, your personal online model railway hobby club, except no substitutions. We are here every Monday, and it's time to gronk it up.
Yes, I think. Oh, hello, Topsy.
Hello.
We've given him the power of pointing.
But we haven't given him the power of getting on the screen, apparently.
No, there he is. I can see him. He's on the screen. If he comes too far on the screen, he makes me go out of focus. So we've got Patrick Lynn going to the dogs. Slimer Chairman 1, Valleys 56XX, RG Models 86, Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath, Richard Swiderski, Jordan Hunter, Patrick Lynn, 247 Trains, Harry Cedric, Andy Stewart, Phil Humphreys, Yaharic, Simon Snow, Hillside Junction, 3B Rail, John JMC, the Guru of Sound. Great to see you. It's been a while. Vomit Becking. Awesome Bricks says, good evening. All time to get around in. Toast, that is. Oh, yes. Topsy gets excited at that. Stefan Svensson, Andy Fryers Junction, DJK 666. Awesome Bricks, Gatherley Model Railway, Mark Bentley, Marcus Muggins, Hadris Railway, Warbler Productions, Phil Yates, Wamgok, Maura Curran, SR Signalman, Christopher, Leslie Gilpin Railways, Joe Smith, Hannings Rest Model Railway, Harry Cedric and Wamgok, Sarah Davis, and Rawstone Model Railway. God, it keeps coming, isn't it? Stephen Turner, Dave Scott Railways, Ravenheart says, hey Jenny and Cupboard Monkey, Penador, Honesty Team here. Dean Fielding, Zantec, John JMC, the Guru of Sound, says, is the toaster flipping us off? No, wrong finger. Wrong finger. Little Britain,
It's
Michael
Topsy
Lane,
number
TT120. Who else have we got? Nick at Bletchton High Level, who says, yellow! 247 Trains, 80 Pullen. Right, Jordan Hunter, Paul Grant, Valleys 56XX, Richard Brighton says that's a lot of VW Beetles. What? Where? VW Beetle? Oh, you've been funny about the A4s. Yes, you are. Anyway, you sold me one of them. William Whitelaw going round. You sold me that at Ali Pally one year. Cameron Patterson says, good evening to you all from Glasgow. And good evening to you, Mr. Flymo, Mr. Hamshack, and Peter J, and Charlie, and Partick Hill, Wamgok, Patrick L, Rick, and good morning to you, ladies.
Good morning. And I believe it's time to roll VT.
Is it? Oh, I was on a roll.
Welcome to the Monday Club, your online model rail club for all the news, gossip, layout tours and more with your host, broadcaster and model maker, Jennifer Kirk.
The Monday Club is proudly sponsored by TMC, the Model Centre. Check them out at themodelcentre.com. The website features extensive stocks of new models as well as selective pre-owned items where you can track down that bargain you've always wanted. Pre-order with confidence all of the forthcoming models from all the manufacturers. TMC also offer a renumbering and renaming service so you can get the exact identity of locomotive that you want. Why not to also check out their value weathering, or go for something incredibly special with their bespoke service where you can choose from a more extensive weathered look right through to custom graffiti either off the peg or to a design of your choice. Check out TMC today at themodelcentre.com and start your model journey. There we go. Big thank you to TMC. And
look out for something very special coming from them very soon.
Yes. So when we're doing the NEC Warnerly, or if you prefer, I can't believe it's not Worley show, coming up not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, we will be there. And don't forget, of course, we announced last week, 2 p.m. on the Saturday and the Sunday, we're having our big meet and greet in front of Minith Tatus and Four Seasons. So do look out for that. It'll be great to see an awful lot of you, and let's see if we can bring in some new people. Make them one of us.
One of us. Gronk it up. Gronk it up.
Hashtag not a cult for legal and tax purposes. What's that, Gronksy? What's? Oh no, I don't think we should throw little Jimmy down the well. So, anywho, I think it was James Hardy. Was it James Hardy?
James Hardy says, Jenny, have you got every A4 that was ever built?
No. There were 35, although only 34 survived to BR ownership. And I have, I think it's 28, I think. I did count them the other day. 28, but there's a little asterisk
28
there.
28 guts.
One of them I've got twice, and that's because I have a single A4 in LNER Garter Blue, which is Kingfisher. I think it's something like 4498.
You're not a fan of it, are you?
I'm not a massive fan of it. I bought it as part of a set with some coaches, and it was the coaches I really wanted. But I also have Kingfisher in BR Green, and it's the BR liveried ones that I'm going for. So I will end up with 35 of them, but only 34 of them will be in BR livery, and one will be a duplicate. So I won't actually have 35 different A4s. I'll have 34 plus a duplicate, albeit in a different livery. So today is because I am celebrating having finally tracked down Commonwealth of Australia. G'day to you, and it's one I was vaguely aware of, the Commonwealth collection that Hornby did. Limited edition of 1,000, that's probably more than a lot of releases get in the main range. But it means that, Going to the Dog says, 28 A4s, I only have one. And there was a time when I only had one. And it was actually, I started with Dominion of New Zealand, 60013, and that was actually my first A4. Let's Make Tracks TT120 says RIP Sir Ralph Wedgwood. Yeah, that was the one that was destroyed, although 60006 Sir Ralph Wedgwood. They renamed another one. So Sir Ralph Wedgwood did get his train named after him. But I suppose actually he was unique in that he had two trains named after him. Stephen McClay says good morning from New Zealand. Good morning to you. Craig apparently is in, a Southern Train girl. Chris Jones 10. A lot of people waiting for the Cavalex 60. Chris Jones 10 says can't wait for it. The Cavalex 56 really is something special. Not had one in for review, but seen it at shows so many times. Quite frankly, it is a very special locomotive. So I'm hoping for good things from the Cavalex 60. So we shall wait and see. Ravenheart says, not many people get to say that they've started with the Dominion of New Zealand. It's an unusual one, and it was just simply that's what was in the shop second hand at the time. That was in the sadly missed Farnworth Model Centre down in Kearsley, which was just off Junction 3 of the M61. which was actually a really handy one to pop into if you were passing by Bolton on the motorway. Sadly long gone now, but that used to be my regular fix shop. I used to pop in there so many times on the way back from work. But he had Dominion of New Zealand in his second-hand cabinet, and that's the one I picked up. Now, I did already have Hornby 00A4s. Now, in that 28, I don't count my Hornby 00 collection, where I actually had, I think it's 4 of them, Golden Fleece, Silver King, Sir Nigel Gresley, and Mallard. Funnily enough, all 4 of those I now have in my modern collection. I have modern versions. Golden Fleece being the hardest to get hold of, but then Hornby went and released it, so I was quite pleased at that. It was the first time that Golden Fleece had a high fidelity release at all. Although, going back to Sir Ralph Wedgwood, to the best of my knowledge, that has never had a high fidelity release. Now, I have been able to get a few that were professionally renamed and renumbered by TMC, and they've actually been quite helpful at filling in some of the gaps. Things like Samura Wilson, which is 60002. And to the best of my knowledge, that's never been made available in a high fidelity version. I'm not sure that it's ever been made available at all. It's certainly an unusual A4 indeed. Sir Ronald Matthews, which is 60001, that was made available by Hornby. Very difficult one to track down, but I was able to get that second hand actually at the NEC show when it was Worley a couple of years ago. Oh gosh, stuff is no. Chris Jones 10, thank you for the generous offer. It's okay, don't worry about it. Best not to trust that to the post, but thank you so much for the offer. Awesome Brick says all 327 class 25s next. That's quite a big ask. At least with A4s, it's a big group, but it's easier to do. I mean, next you'll be saying like all. I think there was over 1,000 Gronks. Not all lasted long enough to get tops numbers. So there's some big subsets out there. And then if you go into every livery option, then it can get quite peculiar. I mean, with the A4s, I believe they all got BR Early Crest Green, BR Late Crest Green. But then also you've got a large number got BR Experimental Blue. A number got, I think it was 4 of them got the Experimental Purple. I've got Walter K. Wigham in that livery. And I believe that Merlin has been offered twice in that livery. Although the first time was as a special commission. I think it was Model Fair. Not sure which shop that is, but it was an exclusive, so it's quite hard to get hold of. And quite annoyingly, after I got the main range version in BR Green that Hornby did, I actually came across a copy of that in the purple, but I didn't buy it because otherwise I'd have had 2 exactly the same. Ravenheart says, my first A2 is the Sun Chariot, but I want to get it renamed and renumbered to Blue Peter. What I will say to you actually is I have seen Blue Peter around second hand from Bachman quite a few times. Les Kirk says, you're a bit blurry, can't read the chat. Is it us? Yes, if you can't read the chat, that'll be you as well. That'll be your end, not my end. Nick of Bletchner High Level says, I'm having a mallard done in BR Blue with skirts removed. Similar to Sir Nigel Gresley. Oh yes, live steam. Of course, yes. The Hornby, the 00 gauge live steam. And there's quite a few of those passing through at Clark Railworks of late. It seems to have had quite a few sets in, but I've noticed they are very desirable.
They don't stay around, do they?
No. Oh, you've been looking as well?
I like them.
But you've been looking on Clark Railworks.
I have a look every now and again.
Ooh.
It's coming up to Christmas.
Oh, who are you buying for?
You!
Me? But how do you know what to get me?
It's got a train.
You can't just buy any train.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. It doesn't work like that. I mean, you might buy one I've already got.
Get your pink one.
Yeah, Ivor Junction says, looks crystal clear on my TV. So Les Kirk, aka Dad, it's your connection. You might have to have a look into what tech support says if he's still there. You can talk to the most people whilst I slurp down.
I was trying to, but I'm out of breath.
Okay, beverage of choice.
Yeah, anything with a tops number. It says 3B Red. Pretty much, yeah.
They're close. Trevor Veal says, good evening, got my 46th A4 Eagle last week.
Oh my goodness.
So you're going for duplicates in different liveries. There's a lot of different liveries because, Wartime Black seems to be quite a popular one for releases. I've seen Sir Charles Newton's turned up in Wartime Black, and there's one other as well. That has been done a couple of times. Also on top of that, Ben Davis says, hi Jennifer, what do you think of the Bachmann winter announcements 2024? I think it's a good solid announcement. If there's anybody watching from Bachmann, I think that there's some good releases there. The 50-foot LNWR coaches, I think those, if they're at the same standard as their birdcage coaches that they did a number of years ago now in Southeastern and Chatham Railway, the Southeastern and Chatham Railway ones, I think they're going to do very, very well. I think we're going to see huge sellers of the LNWR livery, but also the Midland and Great Northern liveried versions as well might do quite well. It's very nice to see that they're testing the water. And I always look to read into this. Like, does that mean that there's an M&GN release coming through at some point? I can't think of anything that actually lasted. The trouble with the Muddle and Go Nowhere, as it was nicknamed, was that the locomotives that were absorbed eventually into the London and North Eastern Railway didn't actually survive very long. So I don't know whether there was any locomotives that were identical designed to other ones that were out there that may have persisted. So what am I looking at here? Right, so the Cupboard Monkey is showing me Quicksilver, which is the Bachmann 00 model 31-960A at Clark Railworks for £65. Now, there's two things I'll point out. Right, the first thing is that's the split chassis version. So,
all right,
I've become one of the things when you collect models, and especially when you're a DCC modeler, is that you get very adept to spotting the older tooling models, particularly split chassis, because they're no, steer clear like the plague. Even DC modelers, unfortunately, their longevity is not noted. They have a tendency for the axles to split, and so they lose their quartering. But they're not impossible, but almost impossible to DCC fit. They run like a bag of spanners in a cement mixer.
So you're not a fan then?
Not a fan. But the other thing is, I've already got Quicksilver.
I thought it was the one you didn't have.
RG Models 86, absolutely. Avoid split chassis like the plague. JL Railway says, hey Jenny and Zoe. Sorry I'm late.
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they heavy. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Well, I could see Gandalf hovering in the corner of my eye. He'd seen your comment before I did, but he does at least wait. Apparently, says DJK666, the Accurascale Mark II Cs are imminent. So, New Junction, if you're in, just let us know.
Is that one you don't have?
Will you? Wild Swan, yes, I've got it.
I need a list.
Those in the know will know that I posted a list. So, right, I've got 28, I think it's 28, it's either 27 or 28 A4s. But because of that duplication of Kingfisher, one in Garter Blue, one in BR Green, there's a number that I need. So, from the top of my head, 60006, Sir Ralph Wedgwood is one. Now, to the best of my knowledge, never been made available in a super detailed version. I'm very particular, don't want the ex-railroad tooling from Hornby, don't want the split chassis versions from Bachmann. Union of South Africa is a funny one insofar as it's one I don't have, but it's actually quite easy to get hold of. It's been released so many times, and most likely, in fact, dead certainty, there's a version to match this in the Commonwealth collection from a few years ago. Then also in the Great Gathering set, it's had so many different releases. And then also missing Silver Link, which to the best of my knowledge has never had a super detail release. Super detail, when I say that, that's just shorthand for the modern tooled Hornby versions and also the Bachmann later tooled version. Silver Fox is another one. Then I don't have Bitten. Bitten's quite an easy one to get hold of. I think of all the ones that I need, the only two that I know are available in the specs I'm after are Union of South Africa and Bitten. And then on top of that, I'm missing... Which other ones am I missing? Gannet and Seagull, which I think from memory are 60033 and 60032 off the top of my head. Jennifer Horton says, how many Hornby 00A4s do you have? All of them. There only were 4 Hornby 001s. Well, if we're talking about proper Hornby 00, not the modern stuff. Hornby 00 themselves only ever did 4. Although there are different versions of Sir Nigel Gresley, either with or without the valances. Either with its number beginning 44 or number 7, depending on whether it's pre or post Second World War. But then in BR livery, Silver King, Silver King was the 3-rail one that was is very, very plentiful. Golden Fleece was the 2-rail one. Now Golden Fleece has the late crest, Silver King has the early crest, both in green, and then Mallard replaced Silver King in the range, has late crest BR green, but is 3-rail, and that's all the Hornby 001s.
Leslie Gilbert, I love it. Would Seagull go through a packet of chips if you tried to DCC convert it?
Yes, it would. Yes. It'd nick the lot out of your hand and fly away and be an absolute hooligan about it. Right. Hanning's Rest Mother Railway says, I'm going on the Sunday. It'd be good to see you. Name a Gamer YT says, evening to all in chat. And Nomad Railway says, evening all. Sorry, I'm late. So let me just give Gandalf a prod, because he looks to be engrossed in that packet of biscuits. There we go.
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Warbler Productions asks, Jenny, would you get one of the Daypole Rails A4s? If they did one, you've not got yet. Potentially, although they are quite expensive. I'm not one of those people who really feels a need for a smoke unit. And unfortunately, they're only available as sound fitted with smoke unit, which does make them very expensive. So I'm in two minds. I think it would have to be a must-have, never been released before livery. So I'm guessing Union of South Africa and Bitten wouldn't be my go-to two from that, because I know I can get them from the Hornby Super Detail range. But Silver Fox and Silver Link, quite possibly. To you, I can see on your face, Zoe, it's like white noise.
I'm just trying to work out how to make some jokes. Like, are you going to get them all to be the very best like no one ever was? Or is Silver King ever mistaken for a packet of cigarettes? Super King. I was trying to work out how to make these jokes funny. And then you asked me what I was thinking about.
And that was where you'd got up to, was it?
Yes.
And you were just sat there with your brain in a loop.
Yeah.
So Flymuch M1 says some nice videos in the Facebook feed. Darren J. Mould says Darrenbury Central might go to Worley on Saturday. Rather Catholic.
I was thinking, what? He's going to war on Saturday. It's going to cost a lot.
That's
What?
how-
Yes,
that's-
it probably would.
That's how I misread it, but I kept that in my head. Also I should point out, because I get angry emails when I called it Worley. It's not Worley. It's the show formerly known as Worley. So we've chosen to call it Warnerley, because it's being organised by Warners. So to all intents and purposes, most people going wouldn't notice much difference, because it's on the same weekend it always was, being held in, I believe, the same hall it always was, and you will park in the same car park you always did. But it's being run by Warners, who publish BRM magazine. DJK666 says, that's why I call it Not Worley. And Little Britain, yes, I can't believe it's not Worley, is one of the names that people are, some quite influential people in the hobby are actually calling it. Valley's 56XX says, the weird symbol formerly known as Worley. Yes. And maybe if Warner's has like a little logo that it has like a squiggly logo, they can just put that up, and it's like, if you know, you know. Those that respect me will use my new name. It's like, but it's just a symbol.
How do we say it?
Wasn't that just a big FU to the music industry or something?
Something like that. It's like, dude, come on.
I remember when Prince did that, and there's a dim recollection that the squiggly symbol was basically a massive FU to his record label. And New Model World, FKA Worley, formerly known as Worley. Chris Johnson says, hello, Jenny and Monday Clubbers. Sorry I'm about 20 minutes late. Tonight is a rare occasion of both me and my partner being able to watch Monday Club together. Welcome to you both. But I'm sure Gandalf will have something to say. Let me just give him a...
I'm already here. I was paying attention. I was just waiting for you to do your thing. A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons. Nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. And yes, Ed Flame 4291 says quite a lot of Hornby A4s on Clark Railworks. Yes, and I bought one of them a little... probably about a week ago now.
I don't think Warner's will be doing it.
Why?
Prince changed his stage name to a symbol to highlight his dissatisfaction with Warner in particular.
As in Warner Brothers Records.
Yeah.
SHBGP Media says, I'm split on doing Not Worley. No way can I do that many layouts in a day. I struggled doing Tolworth yesterday, managing to film them all. Yeah, this is something that when it was Worley, I started to find. And this is, before I...
you couldn't get round to save your life.
Before I became a big name YouTuber, and I don't mean that in a, look at my ego, see how it doesn't fit through doors anymore. No, before I get stopped all the time by people wanting to come and say hello and that, I actually struggled to go around. What I tended to find was I'd be doing some filming, I'd go around and I'd try and film all the layouts, and then you'd see other people's videos of that Worley show, and you'd be like, I don't remember that layout. Or you'd look in the programme, you finally get some time, you go, I haven't seen that one or that one. And it really was, even if you got an early doors ticket and didn't leave until they chucked you out at the end, it was still not possible to see everything. And I always say to people, sometimes, I don't know, is it possible for a show to be too big? I think there are a lot of people who will come both days, but that can be quite expensive. So I don't know. Peter Jackson Cheadle Heath, yes, new badges will be available at Warnerley. So they're exactly the same design as before, but they're going to be green rather than blue. So do look out for those. Jennifer Horton says, yes, it is difficult to to Whalley properly in a day. Joshua W56 says, "Hey guys, how's the Great Gathering going?" Well, if I change the angle of the dangle...
For the brew, that is true.
Yes. So,
I'm trying to find the button.
Yeah. There we go. If you make me smaller, there are more A4s hidden by me. So we're just going to... Ooh, so there you go. There's another one on the turntable, you see. So, basically, I've got... I did count them, and I've forgotten the number now. It's either 27 or 28. And I'm trying to get all of the BR liveried ones. But I do have a duplicate. Kingfisher I have twice, albeit one is in Garter Blue, LNER livery, and the other is in BR Green. Nick at Bletch and High Levels says, I just enjoy everything and anything and anybody at a show, and then watch other folks' videos on YouTube for in-depth study of layouts in the comfort of home. Keep them coming. I know, but Warnerly, and before that, excuse me. Before that, the Whalley show at the NEC, it was always an expensive endeavour, even if you didn't stay over in a hotel for 2 nights. And I think that that's one of the things that the venue kind of stifles it a bit, because you're paying for parking and then you're also paying to get in. And I don't know, there's obviously business reasons for this, and I hasten to add, it is outside of the control of any of the organisations that put on shows there, be it the car show, clothes show, or indeed the model railway exhibition. That they're not the ones making the money from the car park. It'll be the venue. It's out of their control, but it always feels a bit cheeky that NEC kind of double dips, because they're obviously getting the payment for the room hire, and they're also then getting all the money for the catering, and then they charge everybody for the parking too. Mm-hmm. And when you see these big out of town shopping centres don't charge you for parking, it's like, I don't know. A part of me feels that it's perhaps a bit cheeky, but that's just me. Kitty Wolf says, I generally get the floor plan and highlight must-see layouts before I go. That's actually a really good idea. And almost kind of plot your route around. Not just for layouts, but for traders as well. I think for a lot of people, there's certain traders that it's great to go and browse the products. They're not necessarily products that lend themselves to browsing online. And it's just great to go and see the wide variety of stuff that's available to buy. So, I can see certain layouts you might want to see. I remember years and years ago, we're going right back when I used to go to York exhibition with my father. One of the layouts that I always tried to make a beeline for, and it was often quite difficult to get close to it, even if you arrived and were in the queue of riffraff at the start, was Iron Mould Lane. I only ever managed to really see it through people's shoulders a couple of times, because it was a very popular layout, but that was probably one of the most influential layouts early on to me. And Grove Street Yard contains elements that I really liked in Iron Mould Lane. Peter Jackson Chilheath, yes, book in advance, cheaper prices, absolutely. And that's all I say. If you're going, you've got tickets to go, book your car parking space, because it does make it cheaper. Madden Steam Railway says, I've told many people that they should just visit the Monday Club. The last person to whom I quoted what you said about a certain locomotive that you tested last weekend. What did I test last weekend? I've completely forgotten.
Give me a second. I edited so many things so far in advance that I can't remember.
Oh, the Y7.
Yeah, the Y7. That was an alright locomotive, wasn't it? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, oh, thank you, JL Railways. Absolutely amazing and generous of you. Very kindly donated. $9.99 on the super chat. Thank you so much. Says, hey, Jenny and Zoe, would have loved to have gone to not Whalley, but I'm busy this weekend. Also, I've got another Gronk! Gronkito!
Gronk it up! Gronk it up!
Hashtag not a cult for legal and tax purposes. It's a BR Green 08 and I've got Tanjmir as well. Thank you so much. And oh my word, Richard Bryden has also very kindly donated £10 on the Super Duper Chat. Says, Jenny, I've just had it confirmed that we will have completely free entry for all at the Settle Model Rail Festival.
Wow.
Also known as Smurf. 19th and 20th of July, you have a starring role, of course. Yes, of course, so we will be there. The Monday Club will be there. We will be doing the Monday Club meet and greet as well at Smurf, which is the Settle Model Rail Festival. We will be bringing you more up to date on that. Also, talking about and thank you so much for your generosity, Richard Bright. That's incredibly kind of you. And also, we are announcing. Let me just double check I've got the date right. So, one moment, caller.
So, Jen is currently looking up something that we talked about just before we went live. And then, because we went live, her brain went blank.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. If you've ever tried to go live, you know that all your plans disappear immediately.
Yeah. Right. So, 9th of December, we're doing the Monday Club Monday night lock-in. So, thanks to the kindness of Sawyer's Models in Lee, who you may have seen on the exhibition circuit. They've had a big stand and are accepting the Monday Club badges for a discount. They're one of the participating retailers. Thank you so much for that. But on the 9th of December, and we will remind you between now and then, we're doing the Monday Club Monday night lock-in at Sawyer's Models. So from 6 till 9, Sawyer's Models will be opening late for you to be able to do your Christmas shopping. Come on down and join in the fun. We'll be live streaming from the shop. They've got layouts there. There's a lot going on. And, of course, your Monday Club badge discount is available.
Don't read it out.
No, it's LNER Grey. See, look, LNER Grey. No, not that one.
Sorry, Richard.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, I thought it was Cupboard Monkey. He was trying to... No, unfortunately, I'm really sorry. That is... it's the wrong livery. It's the BR liveries that
Okay.
we're trying to
But it's
collect.
the right...
Silver
loco.
Link is the right loco, which would be 60014. Yes, I think 60014. Andy Fry's Junction says Plus will have special offers on too, and I believe that Richard Brighton from DCC Concepts will also be on hand. So you can come on down, and remember, Richard Brighton is very, very good. If you ever need a double entendre, he'll give you one. So he'll be there as well. JL Rowers asks, Jenny, where can I get a Monday Club badge?
At the moment you can't, but they will be
They
available at
sold
Warnerly.
so well. So Warnerly, just hit up either myself or the Cupboard Monkey, and they will be available for £5. We've kept the price the same, so that's the first opportunity to get them. I believe some of the retailers who are participating may also hold a stock, so we'll be able to sell them to you. Not all, but some. So yeah, there'll be £5 over the weekend. Then they will go on general sale as well. But until then, that's the only way you can get them. And obviously, if you meet us at events, then we usually have pockets full of them.
Jen,
yes?
Craig is saying check your gosh darn messages.
I was getting through it. What else has he sent? Craig, yeah, I'm reading it, Craig. I'm reading it. I was partway through. At Warnerly, Iron Horse Railways will be handing out special Iron Horse Railway cards, which can be used to get a 5% discount at the Sawyer's Models trade stand. And, just in case you think, well, I already get that with a Monday Club badge, that can be stacked. So if you have an Iron Horse discount card, you can use that and your Monday Club badge together, giving you 10% off at the Sawyer's Models trade stand.
My goodness.
Want a card? Seek out Iron Horse. Yeah, you'll see him coming. I've
just been sent
Have you?
exclusive information
Oh?
about Smurf. Richard Brighton says, here are the details for Smurf that I know so far. If you want to release this lot exclusively. The traders we have.
Oh,
DCC Concepts,
Of
Mortal
course.
Railway Electronics and Accessories.
it would be strange if they weren't attending, to be honest with you.
Rails of Sheffield,
Oh.
used sales. Now that's interesting.
Oh.
Rails haven't been around for a while.
Rails haven't done their used sales at shows in a couple of years now, so that is
That's-
going to be good.
Yeah.
Who else?
TMC, the Model Centre.
Ooh.
They'll be doing weathered and graffiti locos and rolling stock.
Mm-hmm.
JDM Mozzles, producing new locos and rolling stock.
Excellent.
Clark Railworks will have a production showcase and update.
Oh.
That'll be very
He
interesting.
won't have the second-hand rummage with him, though, will he
But
not?
interesting. The update and the production showcase. Will we be getting to see some of those
Oh,
nice big locos he's been looking at showing off and stuff?
well, by July next year, I'm betting that there'll be more news about Clark Railworks releases in 00. We had
I was
the
thinking that
surprise
War Department
announcement.
one.
The what? Oh,
The 210 or whatever it was.
the WD
Yeah.
210. Yeah, we probably will have, if not production samples, then hopefully decorated samples
That'd be
by
nice.
then.
So we've got some interesting layouts coming as well.
Oh,
What's
that?
up?
Ravenheart says, I couldn't find the Cupboard Monkey at Getz. I reckon we were doing the Benny Hill theme tune.
I was mostly behind TMC
TMC
stand.
stand. We were underneath the TMC tower, where
Yeah.
we had cameras on top of the TMC
And a
tower.
toaster.
And a toaster. We had a toaster and cameras on top of the TMC tower. There's lots
So
of
here's
teas
some interesting stuff that we've got here. Layouts at Smurf. Dead Man's Lane by Mick Bryan.
Yes.
On the main stage.
which was at that was at the Lee exhibition. So if you saw me there, then you will have seen that.
Mike Wilde with Hornby Magazine will be on the main floor.
Ooh, Hornby magazine.
Matthew Haynes with Horton Green will be on the main floor.
Uh-huh.
And they've got space for 2 other layouts that are yet to be confirmed.
Ooh.
Other attractions include, of course, the Settle Signal Box,
Yes.
which I have to admit,
We've
we
got-
always have a look at.
We've got a video actually, haven't we?
Yeah.
I know
This-
I recorded one for DCC Concepts many years ago. I'm not sure whether that's been released or whether it's in the pile of videos that Richard Brighton studiously has forgotten to release all of them.
Here's an interesting thing. The Settle Museum of Craven Life and the Essensee Railway ride on train.
Ooh.
Yes. Plus, a Railcam has a train stand, and BRM will have a train stand as well.
Oh wow!
A trade stand, even.
So there's 2 magazines going to be attending.
But here's the best part. I think that everyone will appreciate this one. Entry fee, free.
Yes, free entry. That's right. How much you say? Free.
I think this sounds like a damn good show.
Yes, you can save all your shekels for buying goodies. Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for passing that over, Richard. This
Absolutely.
sounds so good, man.
Simon Pitcher says, with all these new releases, glad I moved up to O gauge, saving money. And thank you for your generosity for sending your double O gauge models to me. Oh look, there's one here. Woo! But yes, so thank you so much. And yes, if you ever want to move up another scale to gauge 1, then I'm always quite happy.
Jenny, you've got no space left.
I'll make space. Naya
She's
Jane-
already starting to push my Warhammer stuff out the way.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say she's already started to push my buttons. So good to see Railcam doing the rounds, says Ravenheart. Been a subscriber for a while now. SHGP Media says, what date was this again?
Smurf, give me 1 second.
Schmurf. So if you ever hear us talking about Schmurf,
Yeah,
that's the Settle Model Railway Festival. Didn't he just send it you on? Oh, hold on, I've got it on my phone.
It's the 19th and 20th of July.
So that's next year. You've got plenty of time. Put it in your diary. There's no excuse to miss it. Peter Joyce says, I'm watching, thinking about the O-gauge layout at Spalding show with a working yard crane. Very impressive. Yes,
Oh, that sounds
I
interesting.
have seen that. It is very good. Phil Yates says, I'm hoping to go to Brocklehurst on Sunday. 7 squids to get in. That's less than my ferry fare. Let's change the angle of the dangle. So there's a lot of A4s on the screen at the moment. We have talked a little bit about
So
that.
Jen has immediately gone for one that doesn't have any trains on it.
Shh, hush. This is the one where you can actually get some really nice views of the A4s. So just about to hove into view is Sparrowhawk
beep.
60018. This is a Hornby Super Detail model that was released a number of years ago in experimental blue.
I'm just going to go and grab a glass for my drink of choice.
Okay.
What is tonight's beverage of choice, maybe?
Tonight's beverage of choice is Dr. Pepper.
It's so misunderstood.
Yes, Dr. Pepper Zero.
It's got a sherbety taste, doesn't
It does, doesn't it? Yes. It's one of the few drinks that I actually really like the taste of the full fat version, but I won't drink it because it's full of sugar. But so Dr. Pepper Zero, it's like, yes, we'll have some of that. Although it doesn't quite taste how I remember, but there we go. Richard Brighton says, Craig tells me you have some layouts that you can exhibit. This is Andy Fryer's Junction. If you could let me have some dimensions, I could see which would be best for the Space Vale. Do you not want Minith Tattoos or Four Seasons at the show? RG Models 86 says, I'm guessing there's no A4 called Budgie. No, but if you go into a pet shop and ask if they've got any budgies going cheap, then you'll get kicked straight out of the door. Little Britain says, I can't decide between Dr. Pepper and Iron Brew. I don't even care much for fizzy drinks. Iron Brew, never really got that. I prefer to drink Diet Iron Brew, or tap water as that is. Where are all the tractors, says Christopher Tower. They are resting, for we are having A4 special today. Right, the other A4 going past, there's two of them actually. You're going to see one bowled by the other. I think we've got, is one of them Dominion of Canada? Can't read from here. That's number 10, yeah, that's Dominion of Canada, 60010. And the final A4 that's actually running is 60004, William Whitelaw. Which is actually a full sound fitted one. So there we go. Thank you so much. Richard Groot has very kindly given £2 on the super chat. So see you at the NEC with biscuits. Oh, I can see that Gandalf is very much looking forward to that. Peachy TT120, a big hello to you. There's a few late arrivals, although Gandalf's just shot off. I think he heard the rattle of the biscuit barrel. Little Britain says cream soda is still quite popular in Canada. It's still quite popular here as well. You do find it out and about. It's not impossible to find. John Pinney says, I think it would be vanilla Coke for me. I'm not a huge fan of that myself. Marcus Muggin says, is Dr. Pepper any relation of Sergeant Pepper? I think they're in the same military. Ruben Ashell says, I just wish I had some Pepsi Max. Oh yeah, Pepsi to the max. I know a man who will have some. Won't you, Richard Brighton? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Simon Trains Motherwell with showcases. What about 6009 Union of South Africa as Osprey? I don't know whether that's been done as a super detail model. For a period, I think in the 80s, Union of South Africa did run with what would have theoretically been its original name before renaming, which was allocated Osprey as a protest against apartheid. But I don't know. I'm not aware of any super detail models having been released of it in that guise, it must be said. A.D. Pullen says, night all. Good night to you. It's been great having your company. You take great care of yourself. Rick Morley says, do you have to declare biscuits for tax purposes? No, because you just eat the evidence. Retro Ramble says, I've been having Lucozade original lately. Never got into Lucozade, I must admit. John Pinney says, I like the Vimto squash. Haven't had fizzy Vimto for a while. Oh, I'll tell you what's nice is if you get that cheap fizzy water from supermarkets in bottles and then use that instead of tap water in your Vimto or your Ribena. Ooh, that is very, very pleasing. Little Britain says, I just remember my favourite is a thing called Chinoto. And Davil says Vimto is an anagram of something less than pleasurable. Can't touch the stuff. Maddenstein Railway says, did you know that Sergeant Pepper was a Beatles corruption of Salt and Pepper? I didn't know that, no. Howard Pomfret says, have to go, night all. Good night to you. It's been great having your company. You take care. See you next time. Don't forget, everybody, hit the like button. Hit the like button. And also consider sharing us to social media as well. Let other people know about the goodness that is the Monday Club, your first choice for the online model railway community where all are welcome. We've been doing this actually for, it must be about 7 or 8 years now. I think we've almost never missed a Monday. We're always here for you. And if you haven't already done so, then do hit the subscribe button as well. B2000 RO Toys channel, hello to you, it's great to see you. My OO gauge layout has been in my garage and I've taken some time to weather my track using my airbrush, and I've also turned a Triang L1 into Edward. Wasn't the Edward model actually based on that? There's a little little flitting memory that's telling me that actually that's the model that Hornby based their version of Edward on in the early 1980s. Worthington Model Railway says Hornby have sent an email. Coronation coaches are in stock. Ooh. That will include the beaver tail observation car. And they've always looked amazing. If you were at Getz, then sorry, I've got hiccups now. Blimmin' fizzy Dr. Pepper. It's like, I'm going to point the finger. Pointing the finger. How dare you? How dare you? Giving me hiccups. So I'm going to intermittently hiccup. You have to put up with it. I'm very sorry. Andy Fryer's Junction says the first of the Coronation stock are arriving with us tomorrow. They've looked amazing. If you were at Get, you would have seen them on the Hornby stand. They had them running. In fact, if you watched the videos that we did with Hornby, where I built a Black 5 locomotive, just like they do in the factory, well, sort of like how they do. They do it much better than me in the factory. So if you buy one from Hornby, it's made much better than what I managed. But in the background, you'll have seen the full set of those was on a layout that they had for filming. Dion Wollaston says, good night all. Look, you take great care of yourself. I know it is a school night, and what time we're... Oh gosh, we're like coming up on 8 o'clock. It goes really quickly. Flymer Chen 1, yes, I believe so, yes. Hornby Edward was released in 2006 and is an ex-LNER D49. That I didn't realise. I always thought it was the L1. 2000... No, are you sure? That's quite late. I was almost certain that they brought out the Edward a lot earlier. Nicker Blechner High Level says, say banana. Slowly, Jenny. Supposed to cure hiccups. Banana! I've never heard that one before, I must admit. Malco Blue says, I must admit I'm late. Trying to sort out an airline ticket. I put the wrong date, wanted this Thursday. Ended booking for December, new key to Manchester. Ooh! Oh, good luck with that. Let's see if we can change the angle without it going. I may have to dive across. Oh, there we go. Screen's come up. So, right. Leslie Gilpin-Rose, I was going to get onto that. It says, was there any news? Daypol have been investing in new machinery to continue expanding the range of models that they are producing here in the UK. So they've been sharing some posts about these, and I think that it's something that a lot, not going far beyond the model railway industry. I think a lot of industries need to take a long, hard look at supply chains, and insuring, as it sometimes gets called, is definitely something that I think businesses that want more control over their supply chain and certainty are definitely starting to consider, and Daypol being one of them. with difficulties with long supply lines out to China, and Dapol in particular. I think it was the O-gauge class 121s, 122s. They were stuck on the Evergreen, which was the big container ship that got wedged in the Suez Canal, and that caused a lot of delays and a lot of problems. So I think that that's one of the many reasons that they are looking to move as much production as is feasible back to the UK. So it's definitely a good sign, and I guess maybe we'll see other companies start to follow suit. I know that Hornby still have the factory floor there. I've been in it. It's mostly empty or just full of crud that they're storing. But I think that there is definitely an opportunity for, say, the likes of Hornby to look at bringing production of some of the simpler stuff back to the UK. It would be quite interesting. Lots of love for Dapol here, says Iron Horse Rails. Absolutely. Zantex says Dapol did a model of a 12-wheel dyno in 00, which they did it in N. That model actually is now part of the Hornby range. It was one of the tooling that they sold just after the fire in Wrexham to Hornby. The LMY Puggy Poo was another one of those. The LMS2P was another locomotive. The N2. So there was a whole bunch of stuff that did move over. I think the Lomac as well. The Hornby Lomac was originally
the Lomac
may have been one. Anthony says, "Hello, the future. I'm currently just starting the show, 54 minutes behind." And Alex Dent says, "I got to go now."
Is never late at Toto Wagons, nor are they early. They start watching precisely when they mean to.
Absolutely. There have been a few latecomers, but as Gandalf was downstairs with you, hassling you for biscuits, he missed them all.
A Monday clubber is never late, Toto Wagons, even if I get to them late. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Yes, so Anthony, when you get to this point, remember typing that, and you're probably thinking, "Oh, I bet this comment just
Do we not have any birthdays coming up?
I don't know, do we?
I think we said to a certain person last night that we were going to sing happy birthday for their birthday. That's this week. Happy birthday to you. Squash tomatoes and stew. Bread and butter in the gutter. Happy birthday to you.
So
you know who you are?
Yeah, who was it? Oh, apparently it was my mum. Yes, well, yeah, but my mum is not the sort of person to go, "It's my birthday this week."
No, but she is watching.
Oh, okay. Mike Lane TT120 says, "Can you go through the A4s on the track? The ones that are running, I've got 6008.
Hang on, you have to get the right music. You
can tell we're of a certain age because we remember with fondness the 80s theme tune to Top of the Pops.
The Wizard.
The Wizard.
Yes.
It's a great song, Paul Hardcastle.
It really was.
Right, other news. Oxford Diecast, which does include Oxford Rail. Hornby is divesting itself of that. Now, I do know more than I don't know how much is in the public domain, so all I will say is that Hornby is selling it, and I believe that the family of Taff, so that'd be Eloise, are buying it, but I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about that. Nobody said don't say anything, but you don't want to just blather away at everything you've been told. So it's definitely, I think it's going to be good news for Oxford Diecast and Oxford Rail. Speaking to Eloise, I know that there's going to be a lot of information when we get to I Can't Believe It's Not Worley. They do have a stand there. And Valley's 56XX, sorry, just to go off on a tangent, says, "I'm 60 today." Valley's 56XX. Happy birthday to you. Squash tomatoes and stew. Bread and butter in the gutter. Happy birthday to you. I think there's a tumble of clowns here for that kind of a milestone. Oh, hold on. I should have heard them coming. What with their floppy shoes? You can always hear a clown coming because the custard in the pants sloshes about, and those flappy shoes. So a happy birthday to you.
Jen, what's in the news?
Nigel Cole says a lot of that was public about Oxford Diecast. I'm glad. Lyndon Davis says, DJ K666 says, Lyndon Davis is leaving Hornby at the same time, so he'll go back to running Oxford again. Richard Swiderski says, didn't they buy it back for half of what they sold it for? I can't comment on that. I don't know the prices.
I wish I could sell something. Buy something back for half of what I sold it for. That would be amazing.
And Warbler Production says, I'm glad Oxford is going back to the original family. Hopefully there'll be some new models announced next year now. I think there was, and this is just supposition, but I think that it's been difficult for Oxford Rail in particular to be able to push on with development of rail products, and hopefully this will open the door on that. You know, we've got the J26 coming along. That was actually announced even before the merger, I believe, because the tooling suite for the J27 was always intended to be able to also produce the J26, because I got very excited about that at the time, because it's something I do feel quite strongly about, and I do think that Bachmann kind of missed a trick when they tooled up from scratch their new tool J72. The J71, I think possibly the J73 could have been made from the same tooling with a little bit of thought, but they didn't. And the J71 is not a locomotive that would stand alone in its own merits if somebody else tooled up for it. So I think we missed an opportunity there. And when Oxford Rail said that they were going to do the J26 and J27, I just thought it was a great move. And we've been waiting so long for the J26. And Richard Sudersky says, who owns Oxford Rail? It's the Davies family, and now I believe. And what about the crane? The crane is still in development. It got slowed down because they decided it needed a match wagon to go with it, which does make sense, because otherwise you would have had to have kind of improvised. And I think the feeling was that they needed something, otherwise it would have felt like they'd released half a model. So they started work on a match wagon to go with it. That's still in the works, and hopefully there might be some more information on that when we get to I Can't Believe It's Not Worley. I'm hopeful as well. We've heard a few announcements of reruns of Oxford Rail models. One of the things I'm really looking forward to, they announced they were going to do railway company liveried versions of some of the open wagons, and we never saw those. I think those were announced just at the point that Hornby took over, and we've seen nothing on those since. So Southern Railway, LNER, LMS and LNER open wagons would have been great additions. I think it's like the higher side ones. And we never got those, so really hoping that there'll be some news on those. AJ Trains, HO and N, so hello to you, great to see you. Warbler Productions, hopefully the crane wagon plus match wagon will be out in the next 12 months. The EP at last year's final Worley, or is that I Can't Believe It's Not Warnerly, was stunning.
Final one.
Ham Shackleton says, I placed my order for the crane when it was first announced. I wonder if they will honour the price. Doubt it. And
Well, you never know.
The price was incredibly low. And I must admit, at the time, I thought, they made a mistake on it. But they did say at the time, no, that is the price. Now, Oxford Rail and Oxford Diecast, I do believe, have their own factories out in Hong Kong. Now, I haven't asked whether those are included as part of the sale. I don't know what's going on there. Indeed, I'm not 100% certain on what the original relationship was. But I'd always thought that they had access to their own dedicated factories out there. And it will be interesting to see whether that's one of the ways they've been able to keep costs down. But historically, Oxford Rail products have been incredibly competitively priced. Like the Pilchards came out at a really, really good price. Some of the Mark III coaches as well, and the car flats too. Really, really good price. Let's Go 41 says, "Whoops, wrong Jenny." Oh no, I'm going to be at Warnerley. Yes, Jennifer Horton might be as well. So yes, I will be at Warnerley, and we've got a meet-up both days, 2 p.m. At the Mineth Tatus and Four Seasons layouts. They're side by side, so if you find one, you found the other. 2 o'clock, big meetups. Come and say hello, meet everybody in the flesh. So I'm also quite interested to hear from Oxford Rail whether there's any all-new locomotives that are in the pipeline. Another run of the N7 would be good. I think there's definitely a market for that. It was very competitively priced, particularly the sound version. I think we did a video on the N7 where effectively you bought a sound-fitted one, and at the price it was being sold at, it was like buying the sound decoder and getting a free locomotive thrown in. Dean Goods, still waiting on whether there might be another release of those. But then also, I'm thinking the Janus Shunter as well might be a good one for a re-release. It's one of the best running small shunting locos, super smooth. And definitely, at the price that was offered at, I think it was a real boon to the 3D printed industry for providing a reliable chassis to go underneath whatever they were wanting to motorise. I think in terms of new models, a very thoughtful choices from Oxford Rail. There's definitely room for them. I'd like to think that maybe after the J26 comes out, that the J21 might be on their radar. But I also suspect that the J21, given that there is a preserved example already out there, it's one that a lot of people have called for quite some time. It is being restored to running order, the preserved example. I think the J21 is one that you'd have to be certain that you could get it out before another company.
Patrick Ling says, "Are you all going to wear name badges at this event?" Well, you might have something.
What?
Remember that T-shirt?
Oh yeah, I've got a T-shirt. I can't tell you too much about it because it's linked in with a pilot that we filmed. But I might be wearing that, and it does have my name on it.
Yeah, a few other people might have some as well, but I'm not saying who or how or why.
Yes. Rick Morley says, according to the Independent, Oxford Diecast is worth $3 million. But no. It was bought by Hornby, I believe, for $3 million.
Doesn't mean it's worth that. It means that's the price that they agreed, which could be above or could be below.
And it says being sold for $1.38 million. Now, it won't be being sold for under its market value. I'll tell you that now. It's just simply a case of that's what it's been valued at. It says made a £200,000 loss last year. I think part of the issue was that there did seem to be difficulties in supply of models, and I guess if the supply of stock isn't coming through, you've got nothing to sell, then that will impact your bottom line.
And again, that's another reason to consider, if you're a small company, to consider actually having your factories and your supply chain closer to home. Not necessarily in the UK, but closer to home. Right now, there is a global issue with shipping in certain areas. And even when there isn't, you've got a month wait time.
Yeah.
And anything can disrupt it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think we're going to see more companies onshore.
Onshore or perhaps Eastern Europe.
Yeah, Eastern Europe, they already out there. I think Roco, I think is one of the companies that's out. The Trainomatic makes all its stuff out in Romania. There's some great skills over there, and the differences in labour costs are such that it is very cost effective.
And here's the best part of having something on mainland Europe instead of all the way in Asia. If you need something quick, straight from the factory, you can put it on a train and be in Britain the next day. You can't do that from China.
And also, it must point out that Pico as well makes all their stuff in the UK. The only thing that they don't is the small and large England locomotives, and they're made in Japan, I believe.
I didn't expect that.
They're a partnership with Kato. That's
of
why.
Course, yes.
So I think let's not forget Pico have been trailblazing in this area. They never left. When in the 90s, when companies got we can make stuff cheaper out in China, Pico went, yeah, good luck to you. Griffey says, I don't know, my Chinese shipment's taking 5 to 7 days at the moment, although I don't buy train stuff from there. Is that 5 to 7 days of something that you ordered to be made bespoke en masse?
This is the thing. You're ordering something from China, yeah, they can put it in the post and it'll get here. You make something, it's got to get on a shipping container.
Oh, yeah.
Which means you have to wait for a shipping container to be available.
Yeah, I'm just looking back through. Dave Scott Railways, as Oxford Rail vehicles was significantly reduced in variety. Raymond Legg says, hi everybody. That suggests some degree of lateness there. Hold on, let me wake Gandalf up. Gandalf. It's a bit sleepy. It sounded like Lord Melcher.
I may have been partaking in the halfling's leaf. Let's go for the puff. A Monday clubber is never late, Toto wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. I must admit, Gandalf, you're always hitting the halfling leaf quite heavy. I mean, last time you went on a bender with that, you woke up in a skip and found you'd invited 4 small weirdos on your latest quest. And you're like, I don't know who they are, but they're just like, I seem to be stuck with them.
Turned out all right.
Yeah, you could have got an Uber straight to Mount Doom.
Yes, one does not simply walk into Mordor. You'll get a taxi.
Absolutely. So,
oh, by the way, Iron Horse Cigar Club at Not Wally.
Cigar Club. You know, you have to go outside. You can't have cigar club.
Yes, we know that.
Hall.
We know that.
So, talk to the nice people.
But yes, for those of you who are in the know, may know that I kind of like the odd cigar here and there. And we have, Craig and I have started this thing called Cigar Club, where we just meet up and we enjoy partaking in the leaf.
Yes, you like to puff on a Cuban.
Yeah. Yes. So yes, Not Wally. Join us if you want.
Richard Brighton says, this is talking about the tariff thing. Not if the USA remains in accordance with the WTO, that's the World Trade Organization shipping rules. Tariff telephone number, I'm not reading that.
950-30030. 0181
right.
811 8181.
Model railways attract zero tariff. Excellent.
That's
Most
an interesting
toys
thing.
and hobby stuff is zero tariff, says Griffey.
Wow.
So, if people say, oh yes, these 60% tariffs are going to make model railways too expensive, anybody who puts their prices up saying, oh, it's the tariffs, is talking out of their bottom.
Yeah. Are these cigars of the herbal variety? No, they're actual cigars.
No. We wish, but unfortunately that little advice got scrubbed out as after university.
The herb, I smell it every now and again because some people just don't know how to hide the fact that they're being illegal. They caused a massive migraine for me. So there's not a chance in heck that I would touch that stuff.
Nick at Bletchton High Level says, Jamaican Woodbines ahoy. Well, we may all be staying at the same hotel. I believe that the hotel that exhibitors are in is the same hotel that a lot of the traders are in. So if anybody's at the hotel out by the airport, it maybe there'll be some reggae music getting played late at night. Robert Becking says the first Jinbo China-Europe freight train arrived in Shanghai last month. Don't know the transit time. And they've been talking about that for well over a decade. Has it finally happened?
I'm going to
this
be
was
back in a second.
an overland route Peachy TT120 says, oh, yes, please, for cigar club tickets.
I believe that
you have to bring a cigar.
I believe that Jenny owes you one, Peachy.
Oh, yes. Yes, well, I'll have my people sort that out. Zoe, take Peachy a cigar.
All right.
The hotel will have a heated outdoor smoking area, Zoe. Cigar club, says Iron Horse Railways. Richard Brighton says transit time by train is about 4 to 6 weeks. Isn't that pretty much what the container ships are taking? DJ K666 says that I used to like space cake, and they like flying saucers, since I don't like smoke going into my lungs. Right on Track says, I was at the same hotel as Craig last year, but think we are staying somewhere else this year. Warbler Production says, wacky backyard makes me physically ill. The smell is disgusting. The stuff that you smell, what the kids of today are smoking, it's nothing like what was around when I was at uni.
We have to make sure that the algorithm realises that we are not talking about illegal narcotics.
No, of course we're not.
Right.
Patrick Ling says, a DPD driver delivered to me recently and stank of weed.
Okay. Talking about something arriving in China, I've been getting these. I've got 3 of these now. The red one, the green one, and this blue one. It's
Are there any others?
I don't know. The world's greatest railway journeys. Now this one is Western Central Europe, but also includes the Orient Express. I'm sorry, but yeah, these probably came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. And this
Later
includes...
than that, because it's on DVD.
Well, no, the TV show.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then it was collected for this. This has... how can I put this? The Orient Express on it. And it's not what I would expect the Orient Express to be.
What did you think it was?
When I see the Orient Express, it should be a steam train. Don't expect...
Hasn't been that for a long time.
Every time
you're waiting
I look
for
at it,
Poirot to get off it.
That's what it... The Orient Express should not be a diesel.
Or maybe there's just some gruff Scottish guy who gets off and just goes, there's been a murder!
There's been a murder!
A murder!
One does not simply walk into murder.
RG Models 86. You and me both love to travel on the Orient Express one day. The one I'd like to do is the Rocky Mountain Express, the one that goes across Canada.
Yeah. However, I do want to do the Orient Express. I think it would be lovely. Is that a Laserdisc? No. It looks like it should be Laserdisc, doesn't it?
It's like 6 DVDs.
It's an 8 DVD set. I'll show you.
Yeah.
It opens up. There's a bit of foam to hold it in place. And then it's DVDs.
Foamy.
It's a nice collector's set, but it takes up a bloody large amount of space.
Nick at Bletchton High Level says, can I have a 20 Gronk special filters for me man, please, mister? Hey. When you see some of them start up, they're clagging enough. So, yeah, that's like Gronksy when he's starting up in the morning. Oh, I love my clag in the morning.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could get some kind of special
kind of device
that had a certain scent on them. Now, here's my membership of Cigar Club, and you smell it, and it just smells like a proper gentleman's club.
Well, you could always just tip an ashtray into a jar, put a bit of water in with it, and shake it. There you go.
Scent of really expensive cigars and good supple leather armchairs.
I don't know, they all smell the same once they're in the ashtray. Griffey says, when the 37 was started for the first time in 12 years at the CVR, the fire brigade turned up. So some wally went, there's something on fire over there. I won't bother checking. Oh. Yeah, RG Models 86 Laserdiscs did come and go. I only remember them being sold new in the shops once. I remember going into a Virgin Megastore in, I think it was in the, either in Newcastle or at the Metro Centre, and they had a small section of Laserdiscs, and all I can remember was the old Yorkshire blood revving up and going, how much? Nick at Bletchton High Level, have you had a few sherbets there? Richard Gruter says, what's the Pope's favourite cigar? Holy smoke. Iron Horse Railways. This is not innuendo, club.
I remember going into a Virgin. Oh my goodness! Remember Mary's College when we were at uni in Durham? The Virgin Megastore.
Yeah, first week it was the Virgin Megastore, and then after that, everybody referred to it as Whorehouse on the Hill. It's a mixed college now. You get all those jokes.
It was always a mixed college, not officially, but there was always a couple of guys in there.
Yeah, breakfast usually. All sitting at one table with knowing winks. Yes. Ask Zoe about the Laserdisc player for the Acorn Archimedes, says Richard Brighton. Didn't know there was one.
You think the Acorn Archimedes was weird having a Laserdisc player? Check out the BBC Micro.
With a Laserdisc player?
The Doomsday Book, 80s edition. When
did Laserdiscs turn up?
70s.
Seriously?
Late 70s. Same time as CDs.
So is a Laserdisc basically a big CD? Is that effectively what it is?
No. It's a better quality CD. But yeah, the Doomsday Book in the 80s. You could use a Laserdisc and a BBC Micro.
Richard
Amazing.
Brighton says, I watched a road safety video on a BBC Micro from a Laserdisc. Is this like an old farts, like I'm trying to out old fart you convention?
Yes. Oh man, VCD and CD and...
Yeah, I know about Techmoan, Flymo Chairman 1.
Techmoan is brilliant.
Yeah, Techmoan rules! There was a lot of different competing formats in the Wild West of the 1980s. Video capacitance disc.
Yeah.
Oh, they were the ones. They were basically like a glorified vinyl LP
with a weird sheen on them.
Yeah, and they were in a little caddy. And if you touched it, you ruined it.
Yeah, you never touched the disc.
Yeah, no.
Which of course means that anyone who had little kids, and everyone had little kids, of course they did, couldn't watch their films.
Well, they had a caddy, and you had to put the caddy up to the machine for it to spit it out.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that there was a way of very easily disabling that, so it would just spit the disc into your hands.
Yeah, it probably was.
I can imagine that there were people who would...
Sorry, go on.
What?
Go on, what were you saying?
No.
The Doomsday Laserdiscs toured around schools in 1986. Didn't take long to find the risque images.
What? Excuse me? What? I feel like I've missed out. I never got this. What risque images?
I wasn't allowed to look at the Doomsday Book when it did the rounds. It was a fourth year thing, and I wasn't in the fourth year.
Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath. Yes, Laserdisc were undoubtedly shown on Tomorrow's World. And Richard Gruter says, I came second in a Winston Churchill lookalike competition. Close, but no cigar. Griffey says, we had to make do with National Geographic magazines. Yes.
And hedge porn.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what? Hedge porn?
Did you never find smut in a hedge?
I can remember somebody claiming to have found a porn mag on the way to school. And all I could think was, nah, you've nicked that from your dad.
Yeah.
Or an older brother.
I found hedge porn.
You found hedge porn? Who goes around with...
No one went around with it. On a windy day, the dustbin man pouring the stuff into the thing, stuff blows around, ends up in a hedge.
Excuse me. Who is throwing away porn?
Dirty, dirty old men.
I need to make room for the new porn.
Yeah, you've only got so much space in your house.
That's what
should we get back to trains?
I'm sorry, I mean...
I've just realised that we are now getting into very adult material, and even though this show is not made for kids, we do know a few of them watch.
Yeah, RG Models 86 says, I've seen the slow-mo guys shatter a laserdisc by spinning it really fast.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them do that with an LP as well. Wardle Restorations, big hello to you. It's great to see you. Hope you're well. SHGP Media says, I found some as a kid whilst making a den with my mates. Life-changing.
Yeah, you just look at it and go, I'm gay now.
It's like, oh my god, oh, that's disgusting. I saw that on Alien.
Okay, so guys, yes, we should move on and not continue with this, because this is not about trains.
You. Oh, it's always embarrassed. Oh dear, it's like, oh, the cutie pie. Look at that. Oh, I'm touching your brain now.
Stop sticking that big pink thing in my face.
Yeah, right.
Hey!
What's that? Andy Fry's Junction says, go and stand in the corner and think about what you've done to Richard Brighton. What has Richard Brighton said? Roll it back, I need to see. Richard Brighton says, there, I've just seen it, right. Where do rainbows go when they've been bad? To prison, so they have time to reflect on what they've done. I will be having words with you at the I Can't Believe It's Not
The
Wally
words
show.
will be, well done.
Yes. Dave Scott Railways, we're just queuing up the videos now.
I've just got to mark some things as spam, because I keep getting sent certain things. Ever since my channel got to 2,000 subscribers,
oh yeah, you don't.
I just get festooned with stuff.
That's how you know you've arrived. I was talking to the other. Do you also get complete strangers who you have no idea who they are bad mouthing you on the internet?
I've always had complete. Jen, I'm a politician. Of course, I have people I don't know bad mouthing me.
But no, I said to Craig, I said, when you stumble across a thread somewhere on Facebook where people you have no idea who they are bad-mouthing you, you know you've arrived in this world.
And I did an entire comedy routine about it called Schrodinger's Culprit. So it was one of those weird situations. I was both at the sole cause of problems and not to be blamed because I couldn't have changed the outcome, depending on whether I had won or lost an election.
So who sent this in?
This one, our first video for tonight, is from Richard Brighton.
Ooh, Richard Brighton, your video is queued up.
Who said, turn up the volume, class 37 through settle.
Oh, I have seen. So
Tango tractor tones.
Can I just say, keep an eye on the mixer level, but I can verify that this is safe to play the sound. So, do you want to make it full screen?
Yes.
Okay, shall I hit the lever?
Kick the buttock.
So, here we go.
So, I've got the sound.
Okay, just keep an eye on...
Don't know whether the sound's coming on or not.
Do we know if the sound is coming through? How do we know it's in...
Well, if you stop talking... Yeah, it's going through.
Whoa! Wow, that red light. So there we go.
This one is from Police Replacement Speakers!
Right, hold on, it'll be repeating itself. So
that was brilliant, thank you.
Much for showing that. You might want to stop that because it will just repeat itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did say.
Yeah, you did.
So there we are. Yeah, the 37. That was actually interesting enough. The TRS Trains 37. The sound of that. We did a video on it a couple of weeks ago. It's had over 20,000 views, so a lot of people have watched it. But the sound from that, and I keep meaning to ask Kyle Humphreys which sound profile he used in it, because it's the best Class 37 sound profile I've ever heard. It makes you really think that your teeth are rattling when it revs up. It really is quite impressive. But if you haven't seen that, do go and check it out after the stream, of course. And it's really an impressive build that he's done, but the sound is very impressive as well. So, who have we got up next?
Well, this one's from Charlie Bishop.
Ah.
And he's sent us a link saying, Thomas at the Neen Valley Railway on a cheeky brake van ride pulling the travelling post office.
Ah.
This should be interesting.
Yes. So, shall I bring that up?
Yes. That is cool.
Does that speed it up? Or is it just like putting the hammer down?
I think he's hit the lever.
Yeah. Come on, cheese it. It's the fuzz.
That's actually quite cool.
Yeah, it is rather. Ooh, look at all those engineers' wagons and stuff on the left. Ooh.
Is this the Charlie Bishop, says Jennifer Horton? The multi-award-winning Charlie Bishop.
Hey, it might be, you know. I don't know. I'm not sure that this is his scene. He lives down in Somerset, I think. He's certainly got the weather for this.
Yeah.
I know he watches. So big hello to Charlie. It's great to see you. And
that station on the left is very nice, very ornate.
Wansford. Yeah, Wansford. So yep. Oh,
that was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So Iron Horse Railways, Charlie Bishop, OBE. I don't know. Maybe he should be nominated for his services to cleaning up at the awards. I don't mean sweeping up, but yeah, he did a clean sweep 3 years running, and we're very much looking forward to his 4th unopposed win next year. We'll be there for the drinks and the piss take.
Well, of course. I mean, that's just what you do.
I know. Richard Brighton says, why did Thomas camouflage himself? He wanted to cover his tracks. Now, Richard Brighton, I know where you sit during the day. I don't want to know where you sit at night. But I'll be having some words with you for these dad jokes. It's like he's stuck inside a lollipop stick factory, isn't it? Or a Christmas cracker factory. Hey, wait, that's it? You're the guy who writes all those crummy Christmas cracker jokes.
Riff says he should be on stage, the first one out of town. Nice.
Yes.
So next up, we've got a video coming in from the ever-present Richard Swiderski. Always good for a video. Yeah. He says, hope you are both well. A video to show to the Monday Clubbers. This is A260532 Blue Peter passing through Chorlton in Cheshire.
Oh, that Blue Peter did get a mention right at the start of the stream.
So here we go.
And yeah, Richard Brighton is the honorary dad joke creator.
Captain Dad Joke. The puns have been a right cracker tonight. Oh my goodness.
I believe that crapper is the word you were looking for. So we've been to this location before. It's a very sort of 60s brutalist station. It probably looked quite nice back in today, but then they've decided, oh no, we've got to make it look all 60s and naff. But it's a great location for filming stuff.
Beep, beep.
Oh, you so nearly got bowled, didn't you?
Oh, look at that. It's going fast.
He won't sell much ice cream going at that speed.
Where's the rest of his train? You've left it behind, man.
That's why he's going at that speed.
Beep, beep.
That
is a nice choo-choo.
Oh, so it's quite a cold day. One of the things, when you get all this steam like that, that's a sign that it's actually quite a cold day.
I like it when they're going through the snow. It's been a long time since we had snow.
Yeah, it has been, yeah. There was no 47 there, Valley's 56XX. And Nigel Cole, Blue Peter is the last peppercorn, A2.
I thought, wasn't the diesel or electric the 42? The 42.
A2. A2.
Okay.
Yes. So, yeah. I'm just looking at the support coach. Is that a Mark II?
You don't see many of them. We tend to see in
Mark I's you see a lot of.
Yeah, in model form we see a Mark 1 and a Mark 3. I don't see many Mark 2s.
I'm just curious, is that a Mark II support coach? I know the one that the National Railway Museum has, or at least one of them. They did a special model of it actually from Bachmann, a Mark 1.
Richard Grutus says Mark 2B.
Yeah.
Or not to be.
Yeah, you can see from the curved tumble home at the bottom.
What do you call a group of paranormal street musicians?
The Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters!
Yes. Who are you going to call? Anybody but these guys.
Thank you so much for sending that in.
Absolutely,
that was
brilliant.
Great.
Thank
really
you.
Was a
thoroughly
lot of fun.
Enjoyed that. So I'm going to hit the lever. Right.
Oh, dear, the stuff that comes out, man.
John Penny. Right. Can we make this the last dad joke, please?
No.
John Pinney says, why do trains take so long to arrive on Halloween? They are running a skeleton service. Oh, is that a tumbleweed?
We've got an interesting one coming up here.
Peter Jackson, Cheadle Heath. So this is a couple of rarities.
Yes.
At the Tings exhibition. So there's quite a... Hello, Jenny, Zoe, and the Toaster Twins. Come on, wake up. I have another video for you. I love the way he writes his emails. For your delectation and consideration for showing on the Monday Club, this one shows a couple of N-Gage rarities which were on display at the International N-Gage Show, aka Ding! Ding! That should come with the sound. Ding! Ding! In Leamington on the 14th and 15th of September. Gosh, we are a bit behind here. There are some captions in the video to explain things, but the Minitrix Transformer wagon is very hard to find and is a... You're supposed to scroll it.
And is a substantial piece of kit, as it's mostly die-cast metal.
There are 32 wheel sets on the wagon, which makes it quite challenging for short radius track. Quite challenging to put it on the track, I would have thought. Unless it's made by Minitrix, and all from the late 1960s, early 1970s. The second rarity is the EHMES trolleybus system layout, made by the amazingly talented Ken Jones, who is well known to many West Midlands N-Gauges. The trolleybus models pick up power from the overhead wires, which is supplied via a couple of the catenary poles as a common and return wire system.
Oh my goodness!
Very few of these models seem to survive unless anyone else knows differently. What is seen here on display is basically what is left unknown about. And again, this is made in the mid to late 60s or maybe very early 1970s. Amazing technology for the time, especially in N-Gauge. Right, so...
Yeah, this as a reminder is N-Gauge.
N-Gauge. James Petts, we do approve. Although, I haven't seen you before, so I'm going to wake up Gandalf. Gandalf?
A Monday clubber is never late to the wagons, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Thanks, Gandalf. Oh, my word,
Oh, my goodness.
That is what you might call a bit of an overhang. I do like the figure of 8 layout. That's pretty cool.
He's using a figure of 8 to show this off perfectly.
So the main part of the wagon is die-cast metal, so it's got a good deal of weight on it. And this is N-Gauge.
That is phenomenal.
So, yeah. Oh, it's a double slip in the middle, I think. And I'm going to say it's an outside double slip, which is how you're able to use it as a...
You could operate a spirograph with that.
I mean, it's almost hypnotic.
The way it just slides.
But that is such an overhang.
That's the box to transform. Oh
yeah,
my God, it's huge.
The Trix boxes are actually quite nice.
And this is N-Gauge.
N-Gauge. Oh, that is pretty cool. Plymouth North Road Station. Says, hi Flo, I'm good. Been doing a combi swap boiler change for a customer. Took ages. Had some extra bits to do. And it was cold. Looking forward to the rest of the show. And of course, it is great to have your company. Going to the dogs? Yeah, wowzer.
Look at that. This is running off the overhead.
Trolley bus.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, that would be a great addition to a layout. Because you could actually have that go across the track.
Beep, beep.
So they'd quite easily go over tracks, as it were.
This is so good.
So I'm presuming
not as good as a Victorian tram, but very good.
I'm presuming that the trolley poles also operate the steering, so it can keep steering. But that is really quite impressive.
Please not touch. Yeah, we need more signs like that, don't we?
Ah. They're very interesting. Jennifer Horton says that's a model of one half of the bridge set designed for moving bridge girders. The whole wagon is preserved at Shildon.
I don't remember seeing this.
It'll be there somewhere. Richard Brighton says, Jenny, did you hear about the Hungry Clock? It went back for seconds. I said no more dad jokes. I will put you over my knee and spank you. Oh, wait. No, he will.
Oh my
enjoy
goodness,
that.
that is the amount of people that are in that.
Oh,
In
look,
a little
it's a
box.
layout in
I love it.
a plastic crate. That is really good, actually.
I like that. That is great.
It just shows you don't need a lot of space, and there's easy ways to store your creativity.
I wonder if you could varnish or polish the sides so that it looks transparent.
I don't know. Well, anyway, look, thank you
I've
so
seen
much
that-
for that.
I've seen that done with resin. I don't know whether you can do it with plastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that.
For
That was
sharing
great.
that. Yeah, it feels like it's a cold night tonight because
Yes.
I can feel a chill on my back up here, and normally it gets red hot up
What do
here.
you want? The cardigan?
No, not that cold.
Okay.
Anybody wondering, my poppy is on the cardigan. I was wearing it
Yes.
earlier on. So just want to make sure that people are aware. It's a nice one, actually. Just dump some money every year in a collection tin, but keep the same poppy.
Yeah. Jen and I both have the same style. It's a Hawker Hurricane, and it's from the RAF Benevolent Fund.
Raymond Legg says, I don't understand the way people review movies and music for the last 20 or so years. Everyone is so negative and overly cruel. Yeah, and this is something that's crept into actually reviewing products of all kinds. There seems to be this race to be as nasty and as critical as possible, almost played for cheap laughs.
Yeah.
To ridicule things.
To ridicule people's hard work.
Yeah, we see it a lot in the model railway hobby, and it needs to stop right now.
It really does.
You know who you are. It needs to stop right now.
And if you don't, you should.
Yes, words will be had. Don't know who with, but they will be had with someone, and they will sit there and go, I'm sorry, who the hell are you? What are you talking about?
I believe
Richard
you got the wrong
Gruter says,
person.
I lose more poppies than I buy. Not sure how, but there we go. John Penny says, shall we do a silence on here to reflect about the people who lost their lives in the war? We will at the end. So we will do a minute's silence. Where
Let's do it now.
Okay, so we're doing it now. We're going to have a quick minute's silence for all those who gave their lives for your freedom. So there we go, a minute's silence for all those who have fallen and given the ultimate sacrifice so that we can have our freedom. News today, just a quick reminder, Daypol have invested in some pretty impressive new equipment. I'm not quite sure what it's for, but they've invested in it, and it's for being able to make more products here in the UK. Actually, when we did the factory visit, there's a lot that they already do make in the UK.
I was very impressed by how much they made there.
The pre-printed laser cut kits were a fairly new thing at the time.
They were so good.
Very, very good. And also the printing of the containers. I was quite impressed by that.
I do. I think that's getting better every time we see that.
It's
That technology is amazing.
Absolutely, it's a bit like 3D printing gets
Yeah.
better and better. Oxford Rail and Oxford Diecast are now back in the hands of the original family that founded the company. So, hoping for some great things coming through from Oxford Diecast. I have spoken briefly with Eloise from Oxford Diecast, and she says that there will be some information coming forward at the. I can't believe it's not Worley. So I'm hoping we might get a press release in advance. And actually, I'm going to try and we're going to try and do some live streaming at Warnerley. It's all down to getting signal out. It's you don't like to commit 100% until you know it will work.
Yeah, we're going to try.
I know TMC were quite keen to do more live streams. The thing is that I'm there with exhibits, so I'm obviously tethered to that.
Yeah.
But we're going to try and do some live streams, and I really do.
Richard Brighton says DCC Concepts will provide the Wi-Fi.
Brilliant, much appreciated. That was actually
Thank
bulletproof
you.
reliable when we were at the Great
Well, we
Electric
nicked
Trade
it last
Show.
time.
When we freeloaded on your signal. You go, who are they going? Why is our connection just completely swamped? Meanwhile,
Richard...
Anthony's going, Richard, are you surfing your special gentleman's stuff again? No, it's not even me this time.
Richard Gruder says, silly question, but am I allowed to bring my food inside the NEC? We don't know.
Yes, I'm going to say yes. I believe that there is you can't ban people bringing their food in if you then sell them food, because otherwise you're artificially creating a monopoly, aren't you? That was the thing. They can say no food and not have food available, and have it for like, we don't want the mess or whatever.
Something
but
like that,
you can't stop people taking their own food in, and then instead sell them your food. Because there was that.
They should ban their burgers.
It was. I don't remember the burgers being that bad, but we had Subway actually. FYI, things like Subways are run as a franchise, so they actually have centrally mandated pricing.
Yeah.
And that means that the price you pay for a Subway in the NEC is the same price you'd pay at a Subway anywhere else.
Which is still overpriced, but yeah.
And Richard Brighton, yes, I can attest to this. Smurf. And the Settle Model Railway Festival, aka Smurf, has awesome burgers. Yes. Railway Rob says the burgers were full of gristle. Ooh.
Yeah, that's it. Burgers, sausages, everything like that. It's lips and arses.
Yeah, and Griffey says folks had food at the Classic Car Show over the weekend. I'll be honest, we'll be going in laden down with supplies. And what I would say to people is take stuff to drink. In previous years, Backman I always said the Collectors Club was worth its weight in gold for shows like Ali Pally and as was then Worley, because one of the things they gave out was complimentary bottles of water if you were in the Collectors Club, and staying hydrated is incredibly important. But
yes, Valley's 56XX. If you go to Smurf, you have to paint yourself blue. It's the rules.
Yes, and then wander up to Richard Brighton and go
and give him a hug.
Yes, yes, go, you dirty, dirty man. Come here, give me a hug. But also, don't forget, on the 9th we have got what time we are? We've got actually we do have another video.
Yes,
but let me get through some business. On the 9th of December, Monday Club Live, the Monday night lock-in is being held from, we're on air at the usual time, 7 till 9, but the Sawyer's Models in Lee, which you can also use your Monday Club badge discount at. And we do have some more badge discounts coming through, which we hope to be able to tell you about, which we'll add to the list. There will be a new supply of those from the Warnerley show, so do look out for them. But the 9th of December lock-in, 6 to 9. The shop is opening late, perfect for getting Christmas shopping done. So late night shopping at Sawyer's Models in Lee, and we will be there live streaming the Monday Club. Richard Brighton's question to the members here: what do you think of the Hornby Christmas wagon that they're selling for $32.99? Honest question. Am I alone in thinking this is just too expensive?
Things are getting pricey.
How does it compare to what the base wagon normally sells for? I think that's the fairer comparison. I think, is it this year? It's on the Coke wagon, which is actually quite a highly detailed model in and of itself. I'm not sure. It's not my cup of tea. I know there are people who collect them. But if it's at the same price as the regular wagon in the range, then you can't really complain. They sell at the RRP because one of the things, I guess, is that they don't want to undercut their own dealer network. I guess it's so Richard Brighton, we sold them for $26.99 to Sandy Friars Junction and have sold out.
Wow.
There are people who collect them. And yeah, I know a lot of people say it could be cheaper. John Penny says I think it should be around £10 to £15 personally. But that doesn't take into consideration what it actually costs to make them. And it's one of the things, when you have stuff made, people's perception of what things should cost and what they actually cost are often very different things.
I remember a comment that was on the review of the Ellis Clark all-gauge Black 5 that you did. And one guy said, should be selling these for 50 quid. That's all it costs to make them.
Yeah,
to which I said in the reply, if you can make an all-gauge Black 5 at that level of detail for £50, please do. You will corner the market.
Yeah, so
never heard back from him.
We look forward to seeing your model on the market. It's like never appeared. Oh, I wonder why. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't do it.
Ellis Clark's all-gauge Black 5 is amazing.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, but you're not going to get that for 50 quid.
Flymo Chairman once says, I can quite understand. Some folk need to keep the kids. Right. Right, yeah. It's a reply to Rick Morley.
Yeah.
I think the comment's gone off the top.
Yeah, anything that's got a modern license, you're going to have to pay the license on top.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of comment about the Coca-Cola ones. They have sold. They are collectible. Also, they tend to, I think what a lot of people forget is that they're aimed at people who aren't railway modelers. So there's like a big a market for people who will buy that who wouldn't really be interested in railway models. So you're tapping into a big untapped market. But there's always a licensing fee.
Yeah.
And that costs money. And it's probably more than you think off each item.
You can tell that it's a high license fee. Remember the Scale Extrix we were looking at the other day down at Nuffy's?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the Batmobile as well in Scale Extrix.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a significant amount more.
Licensing
fee
yeah.
is a big part of that cost. And that's how the world is.
We're getting all the dad jokes tonight. Railway Rob says, the Coke wagons are not to be sniffed at. Where's that clown with the trombone? Richard Brighton says he sent you a link.
He has. He sent it to me.
People saying, "Oh, Jenny, why are you not reading your comments?" And it's like, I had this. Somebody sent me a message and then said, "Why are you not reading your comments?" It's like, you're watching the Monday Club. I'm doing the Monday Club. You can see I'm not looking at my phone. So what do you think was going to happen? Craig.
So, Jen, we've got a message up on screen at the moment.
One quick comment first. Leslie Gilpin Railway says, with US models, every railroad livery has to be licensed. And that also includes in the UK. It's not just in the US. In the UK, some liveries, they don't have to pay a licensing fee, but others they do. So, stuff like DRS,
any modern
West
image.
Coast Rail Company, they have to license it. Now, the license may not cost much. It may literally be like £1 or something like that. But they have to go through the licensing process. Video for Monday Club. Let's get back on track. This is from Warbler Productions. It says, good evening, ladies and all in chat. Last Wednesday, ex-LNER A4 Pacific number 60007, Nigel Bresley, returned to Crewe Heritage Centre from its short stay at the Bluebell Railway for their recent gala.
I'm sorry to say, Richard, but I think that is actually warranted at the price it's at, the 32 quid.
Right.
Look at the look at the amount of specially tooled stuff that's inside that wagon.
It's not so much the tooling. It's when you look at it, all the presents are painted. It's the decoration.
Decoration will cost.
In all honesty,
I can see why.
I think you're paying a chunk of cash for the load. Yeah. It's not the wagon you're paying for; it's the load. Yeah. Would be my supposition.
While Jen's reading out that message from Warbler, this is what we're talking about. My phone is loving this. But you see what I mean? There's so much in that.
Yeah. But anyway, short says Bluebell Railway for the recent gala. It used the Trent Valley line of the West Coast Main Line and passed through Atherstone and 1527 at the same time as a Pendle. Did you get bold? I managed to get them both passing through from the Crewe platform, as well as a freight hauled by 2 Class 90s, including the recently named Peak Waterman OBE. So there we are. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying a lot of things do have to be licensed. Yeah. And it's like, Griffey says most model kits are now licensed from original maker of the 1-to-1 scale thing. I know that like car manufacturers, you can't just people think Oxford Diecast, just to give an example, just decide they'll make a model of something and do it. But actually, part of the process is licensing the design. The actual shape of the car is IP for somebody.
The design is copyrighted.
Yes.
Beep, beep. I like that livery. That orange livery is interesting.
Freightliner orange, I'm not a fan.
I just think it stands out.
I much preferred the Freightliner green, to be honest with you. But oh, look at it with you can see the scanning rate on the camera.
Yeah.
Makes everything lean, have its gangster lean. But things like I guess the Bond bug. Somebody owns the copyright to that.
Yeah.
England. Oh my word.
There are the red car and the blue car had a race.
Whoever's on the platform at the other side, like, I'll just film it. Oh no, I've been bold. You did well, my son. You did well. You picked your platform carefully. I bet you there's people. Was there people on the other platform who looked really despondent? I bet you. Yeah. I think older models, if you like an Austin A30, you'll still, I'm guessing, have to license. I don't know, but some of them you'll find it's like it's a notional amount.
Yeah,
they have to license it to keep their IP, but they may well license it for effectively next to nothing.
Yeah.
But it's about the legal.
Thank you so much, Wardle, for sending that in.
It's about going through the motions, and it's how you protect your IP. Even if you're prepared for people to, as good as use it for free. I like the Freightliner Jaffa Cake Orange, says CP Model Railway. I have a Gronk and Shed in that livery.
It's a nice livery. It stands out.
It's not, I'll be honest with you, it's not my favourite. I can see why people like it. There's good night to you, Caroline Rogers. It's been great having your company. You take care. And don't forget, everybody, hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Do consider sharing the stream to social media. Get us out there on Facebook, because the more people who share, the more people will come and join our amazing community where all are welcome.
Absolutely.
And if you haven't done so, do please subscribe to the channel.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just scanning back through the comments.
James Betts has a very interesting view
on
intellectual property rights.
What did he say?
Where is it? Where did he say? Oh,
James Petts, our resident legal beagle, says there is no legitimate reason for coercive restrictions based on so-called intellectual property for making models of things. It's really just rent-seeking abuse. But is that a legal opinion or a personal opinion?
That'll be a personal opinion.
I think the problem is that people are frightened that if they just allow people to make whatever they want, it's all very well saying, a Rover S, just to give an example, Rover SD1, we're not bothered if people make a model of it. And then you find that because you haven't licensed it, you've basically said everybody's welcome, you get not just the stuff that you're quite happy at, but then maybe down the line, somebody goes, oh, well, you're not enforcing it, so we're going to make a new Rover SD1. Because all of a sudden, it's like, you're not enforcing your IP. So you find like an overseas car company makes a car that looks like a classic Rover SD1. And you suddenly find that you've lost your IP through stealth.
Is it possible? Yeah.
See you later, Richard Brighton. It's been great having your company.
Take care. Thanks for coming
on. And J94, great to see you. And yes, James Petts does point out IP is not a speciality, so I don't know the precise
like I said,
limit.
Personal opinion. From my point of view, I see it in a similar way to what James does, but with the caveat that I've seen far too much of what happens when something goes into the public domain. What was the first thing that happened when Winnie the Pooh went into public domain?
Porn!
No, a horror story about a child's toy murdering people.
Yeah,
what was the first thing that happened when Mickey Mouse came into the public domain?
A horror story about Mickey Mouse doing something unsavoury.
Stuff that...
And that's one of the reasons, I think, that making a model, a plastic model kit of a car, you think, oh, well, it's innocuous, but they have to license that, whether they want to or not, to protect themselves from the horror story. The car that stabbed you to death.
Yeah,
and it's like that's, I guess, from a it's a protective, a way of protecting from things that you might not possibly anticipate.
Yeah,
and a lot of these things. It's not that they're anticipating somebody would do something particularly unsavoury, but just in case somebody comes up with something, that's why they do the licensing, I guess.
So we've got time for one final video, I think. It is 9 o'clock. We've got time for one final video.
Okay.
This is from Leslie Gilpin, who says, we've got a video here from Monday Club Videos. Use the first couple of minutes, or even better, from 4:09. This is spectacle and quick fixes on the Durango and Silverton narrow gauge railroad.
Ooh.
So I think you'll enjoy this.
I certainly will. And Sherry Paxton says, impressed with the A4s, all the best. Thank you so much. I can't remember whether it's 27 or 20. Oh, is that one? What is it? Nobody...
Oh my goodness.
Ah, that's not good.
So while Jen's fixing whatever's going on over there, I'd just like to point out that in the message that we were sent, Leslie Gilpin says, this may look like an N-gauge locomotive. It's not. It's as big as a Black 5. In 3-inch gauge.
It's 3-foot gauge.
3-foot gauge, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's narrow gauge, but to a bigger loading gauge. So, I mean, look at that. The way it just clings to the side of the mountain. I mean, and this railroad would have been built by basically men with picks and shovels and
everyone said
dynamite.
It looks real. Yeah, it's a 3-foot gauge railway.
Look at the view.
I want to go on this, Jen.
Yeah, it's over in America. Was it?
Well, if we set up now, we
could walk there in
a couple of weeks.
Did it say where in America it is? I know it's like Durango and Silverton, but which state is this in? Look at that.
Blue water and everything.
And can I just say, what you're seeing now is why I love the idea of making an American logging railroad. Yeah. Colorado.
3-foot gauge, yeah. Loaded gauge is similar to UK, but on 3 foot.
Yes, it had a double fairly. Because Dr. Robert Steers, our correspondent from Billings, Montana, he actually wrote an article about it because he sent me a copy of the magazine.
Right.
So I do have a copy of the magazine on that. Very interesting. It wasn't successful.
I just have to say one other thing.
Yeah.
This has just reminded me of what Iron Horse is planning. To get some modified carriage passengers for heritage railways. and having them hanging out of windows.
Window hangers.
Because you never see it on the main line.
Yeah.
But you always see it on Heritage.
Valley's 56XX says San Juan, Colorado, and NM, New Mexico.
Will be.
Right.
I'm going to put the link into the chat again.
I mean, it's an amazing railroad.
This is
it
very
is one
big.
that I was aware of, but this
is a very long video, but I think it's going to be well worth having a proper look at it.
Definitely.
So I'll put the link in again.
Yeah, Richard's with us.
Thank
if
you
you
so
dropped
much
your
for saying
camera,
this.
yeah, you would never get it back.
That is amazing, but we have to leave it there
Uh-huh.
because we are now at 9 p.m, my dear.
Dave Scott Railway says managed to get a footplate ride around the yard in Durango many years ago.
Thank you so much for sending that in, Leslie.
Leslie Goodman Railway says 45 miles climbing 2,800 feet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's definitely one I'd love to go and see. So good night to everybody, and don't forget that your live streaming goodness will continue after this stream. If you wish to hang on, we will have Gamehammer Classic Gaming with All Request Monday. And any ideas what you're playing this week?
One thing we're playing is The Lion King on Super Nintendo. But as for when we play that, depends on what everyone sends in for requests.
And of course, you will be prompted to go across to join that stream straight after this one. So good night to everybody, and don't forget as well that at the I Can't Believe It's Not Worley show, we're having 2 p.m. on both the Saturday and the Sunday. We're having a big meet-up. All are welcome, as is always the case with the Monday Club. And it's going to be by the Myneth Tattoos and Four Seasons layouts. They are next to each other. So look out for them. And they may be listed in the programme as Jenny Kirk Railways. We're going to have that meetup, be there or be distinctly not Toblerone shaped.
Square.
And we will have the new batch of Monday Club badges.
Be there or be Gronxy's shape.
And don't forget, there's a lot of traders there who you can use your badge discount with. So full list on the website. And once we receive shipment of the badges, which will be at that show, so don't keep asking us because we'll keep telling you the same thing. New badges at that show.
We hope.
We will have them available again to buy online. On the 9th of December, we've also got a Monday night lock-in event with Sawyer's Models in Lee. Late night shopping in a model rail shop. What is there to not like? There's layouts in attendance, as well as being able to shop until late night.
Your wallet won't like it.
I'll leave it locked in the boot of the car with a Rottweiler. Craig, you're in the boot of the car. So good night to you guys. But until next time, you take care. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. The train now departing is the 21:05 service to North Worley, stopping at Myneth Tattoos Newark, the Four Seasons layout, Bolton Trinity Road, Eindhoven, Pittsburgh somehow, Packham on the back, Boxton on file, Huckleton on the hill. What else? That unnamed layout that Jenny said had a name, that turned out it didn't have a name. Butts farting, all change at 3 cocks for Lord Hereford's Knob, and then on to Not Worley. That's the 21:05 service to Not Worley. If you go up to the loft today, it's sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was is gathered there together, because today's the day that Jenny does the Monday Club. Good night. See you later, alligator.
And a wild crocodile.
And a wild crocodile. Bam, 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 bam. Good night. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody. And don't forget, stay tuned and you'll be prompted to head on over to All Request Monday at Gamehammer Classic Gaming Live.
What American state is somehow in? I don't know.
I don't know, but there is...
Pennsylvania. There you go.
Can I just say, there is almost certainty that there is an American town or city with that name somewhere.
Yeah. Oh,
What's wrong?
sudden onset nosebleed.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it isn't.
Are you dripping?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm just sit here a minute.
It's the rarefied atmosphere of up here.
Rarefied up? You mean you've farted?
No. Craig's not here. Right. Hit the lever. Let's have a look at the A4s. Look at them all. Getting dizzy on the turntable.
First time that I saw you, girl, I knew that I just had to make you mine. Iron Horse is asking why he has to be in the boot.
He's looking after my purse so that they don't spend any money.
That ain't gonna happen. You're gonna spend it before you even get there. We know you.
And for anybody wondering, the A4s that I still need, super detailed versions of 60006 Sir Ralph Wedgwood, never been released in a super detailed version. 60009 Union of South Africa, been released several times. Also 60014 Silver Link, 60017, which is Silver Fox, 60019, which is Bitten, and then 60032 and 60033. Can't remember which way round they are, but one's Gannet and one is Seagull, from what I remember. They're the ones I'm missing, super detailed in BR livery. If there is another one, I can't remember. But don't tempt me to collect all the Gronks. There is over 1,000 Class 08, 09, 10, 11 and 12 model. There's just there are huge numbers of Gronks. And then if you factor in all the different liveries that they've carried, the Gronks are probably one of the most numerous in terms of liveries. I would say that Gronks have more liveries than any other class of locomotive, ranging from plain BR black right through to privatisation era. Iron Horse Railways I can because I also have some, like I've got Sir Charles Newton, which was a TMC rename and renumber that's been done to an amazingly high standard, which I bought second hand. Technically my Silver King is the same. And Sir Charles Newton hasn't had a super detail release in BR livery before. I think Golden Eagle is another one as well. It's a professionally renamed, renumbered version. Samura Wilson is another one that falls into those categories, but I've got one, so I'm not beholden to waiting for a manufacturer to do those. Sir Ronald Matthews is a bit of an odd one because Hornby did put out a super detailed version, which I have got, but it's it's quite an unusual one. Andrew K. McCosh is another 6003 for that one, and they put it out as part of the Northumbrian set. Quicksilver, very difficult one to track down, but Hornby did do it as part of a set, I think for Littlewoods, a long time ago now. Andy Fryer's Junction, yes, every layout needs a Gronk. In the case of my layout, it's somewhere in the region of 23. Big hello to you, Mel's. Great to see you. And Valleys56XX says, I have 23 panniers. Andy Fryer's Junction says, I only have 3. I think that's Gronks. Well, then clearly you need more. And you're in the position where you get first dibs on anything that's traded in. Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase, you need to go and sit in the corner and think about what you've done. How can you have 0 Gronks? Right, I'm just going to check on the cupboard monkey. Let's have a different angle of the dangle now. I can wake up my mouse and the camera. Yay! Are you on yet? Huh? Oh. So we're not far off. I have quite a few with special liveries. Like I said before, the 08 Shunters have more liveries than anything else. So, as a consequence, there are a lot of liveries to choose from. My personal favourites include Red Star Parcels, an unusual livery, Intercity livery. I also like the Provincial. I think there was 2 08s that got Provincial livery. One is announced as forthcoming, actually, from Bachmann with their new tooled 08s. So I'm looking forward to that. I also like the Liverpool Street Pilot one that they did in the lined Great Eastern Railway Prussian Blue. One that I've not got, it must be said, but do look out for Secondhand Model Zone. Did do a special of that from Bachmann quite a few years ago now. Yes, Richard Grutus. I like the 03 as well. I think I've got every single Tops version except there's one. I think it was Rail Exclusives. They did a pair right when they were first released. Now I've got 03371 from that pair, but I think the other one was something like 03170. But it's that other one from that pair that I don't have from what I remember. Are you on? Okay. So we just had word from the Monkey of Cupboardness. The Gamehammer Classic Gaming is up next. So you will get a prompt to pass on over. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already done so to this before you do. But from me here at Weir Yard, it's been an absolute honour to hang out with you tonight. So you guys take care, and until next time, bye for now.